We are going live. Alrighty. So I think we are. Hold on. Yes, I think we're live. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Jeanette, also known as Ms.FitVegan, and I'm here with a very special guest, Jane Sinclair. And we're going to talk to her all about the raw vegan diet, how it's changed her life. And also, she is a EFT practitioner as well. And so we're going to do a little EFT, which I'm really excited to do. So, how are you doing today, Jane?
I'm doing really well, thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
nice.
Thank you for being here. And so you're in Wales, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so I wanted to, first of all, ask you, how did you even become aware of the living foods lifestyle? And did you have any health issues that inspired you to try it?
I became aware of it in my early 20s. I found a book in a charity shop called, what was it called? Raw Energy by Leslie Kenton. And I read it and I got inspired. So I tried it for a couple of weeks and I had a huge amount of energy. But I was married at the time to a carnivore. So I ditched it, forgot all about it until I got to 50 when the menopause kicked in and I was taking these herbal things and I was a vegetarian, excuse me. And I remembered this book, so I read it again and I just dived straight into it. I went down 2 dress sizes in a month, if that really, and just felt incredible. And all the menopausal symptoms disappeared. So I was sort of hardcore for ages. And I tend to dip in and out of it now. I'll be raw vegan for weeks and weeks. And then this weekend, we've just been away because I'm also a musician. And been eating out. I've had terrible acid reflux and I've really suffered for it. My energy's been low. You know, I really, really noticed the difference when I go back to a cooked vegan way. It's not
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah. So so what year was this that you became vegan?
Well, I'm 64 now, so it was 14 years ago. So I went from vegetarian to raw vegan. I didn't do the vegan bit in between. I just went straight to raw.
Yes. And how long were you vegetarian before that?
Before that, 28 years, something like that. But you can be a really unhealthy vegetarian. You know, I mean, I ate a lot of cheese. I wasn't fat. I've never really been fat, but I certainly, you know, when I went onto the raw vegan diet, I mean, I was just sort of watching this weight disappear, all these bits that I really didn't want, just went with no effort at all. So, yeah.
Yes. Can you help people to give them some like advice on the cravings that that they have for cooked food? How did you break your cravings in the beginning for cooked food, which a lot of people struggle with?
When I decide I'm going to do something, I do it. So I didn't really need, I mean, what I could see happening to my body was enough of an incentive. And also my energy levels, you know, I play in an orchestra and I'd get halfway through the afternoon and I just want to slump in my chair, and that all stopped. So the more I saw the benefits, the less I wanted cooked. But I did have a client a few months ago who is raw vegan, except that every time she walked past this Indian food shop, she saw these sweets in the window and she couldn't walk past without going in and buying them and eating them all. So she had to go, the only way she could do it was walk a really long way around to avoid the shop. And we'd only did 1 session on it, and then she was able to walk past the shop and she's never eaten them since. So, and actually EFT is brilliant for cravings.
Yeah. Can we talk about EFT for a second? Because it has changed my life and it's so fascinating how it works. Can you tell everyone how you got into EFT and how it's actually working in the body as far as cravings go?
Yeah. So for about 23 years, I had performance anxiety on stage. And I took beta blockers, and I actually got a bit of arthritis in my right thumb. I play the violin, and I was gripping on for dear life. And I tried all sorts of other therapies, the gold therapy, CBT, which did nothing, and hypnotherapy. And then a friend of mine said that they had trained in EFT, and would I be a guinea pig? And so I did. And about 4 months, it did take 4 months because I was always throwing myself into the same thing. But after 4 months, my nerves went completely, no beta blockers, not even tapping anymore. Tapping is the slang for EFT because you tap. I never, ever get nervous anymore. So that was 18 years ago, something like that. So it changed. And what it does is it taps on the meridian points, the end meridian points, just like acupuncture does. But acupuncture does it with needles. We do it with fingertips. But at the same time, whilst we're doing that and relaxing the fear center in the brain, we're talking through whatever the problem is. So that the anxiety doesn't come up as it usually does when you think about that issue. And gradually, I mean, even after one session, people are much calmer, much more relaxed. But you really can, if you think about that food that you want, and tap around it and how it makes you feel wanting it, and more importantly, how it makes you feel once you've had it, because, it takes like 5 minutes at the most, depending on what it is, to eat this thing. And then there's hours of retribution and the feeling that there is in your insides, what it does to your microbiome, it's all so EFT is very good for that.
Yeah, that's such a great point, Jane, because we have cravings for things and then we eat them and then we regret and we feel guilty, and then like it doesn't last, the good feeling. It's like a 5-minute good feeling. And EFT, I have found it gives me such a good calm feeling, and it lasts. So that's incredible about your client with the shop, and that's amazing. Such a simple tool to just walk in a different direction. But then I guess I'm assuming you did EFT with her.
Yeah, I did EFT, and now she walks to the shop. She's got no interest in those sweets at all.
Amazing. Our viewer, Madalena, thank you for being here. She wants to know, what books do you recommend regarding EFT?
There's The Science Behind Tapping. Peter Stapleton wrote that, PETA, she's a lady. Done an awful lot of research on EFT. The Bliss Brain by Dawson Church. EFT and Beyond, but that's more for practitioners, but that's a very good book. Yeah, there's a few out there. I mean, there's other things like, which isn't EFT, but Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway is a great little book by Susan Jeffries. You probably know of it, but it's quite a famous book. Yeah. And then there's YouTube videos. Gary Craig invented it, if that's the right word. He discovered it. It used to be thought field therapy, and then he moved into the EFT, emotional freedom technique.
Yes, amazing. And so do you do it every day? Do you find that you have to do it every day, or just when you need to do it?
You don't have to do it every day, but I mean, certainly with clients, I encourage them to tap every day. As soon as you get up in the morning, I intend to have a great day, and tend to have I'm having a great day, so it sets you up. And if things trigger you during the day and you get an anxiety attack or a panic attack, you can just start gently. You don't even have to say anything, just do some deep breathing, tap around the points. And then maybe before bed, an hour before bed, I intend to sleep easily and deeply. If people have insomnia problems, that's a good idea. You can just use it anytime, anywhere. I mean, when I used it for the orchestra, for the playing, I just used to nip into the toilet before the concert started for just a couple of minutes, saying I intend to enjoy, trust, focus, stay in the moment, But by that time, I'd reached the point where the nerves were pretty well under control. I was just giving myself a boost, So just
Yeah.
before a meeting, we've got a big meeting, just give yourself a quick tap around.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really helped me with my anxiety, panic attacks, so many things. And yeah, great for sleep as well, because I believe it lowers your cortisol. Is that true?
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets through to the limbic system in the brain, where the stress center, and deactivates the thing called the amygdala, which I call the stress button, and it just deactivates it. So the stress that you were under, you no longer are when you're tapping.
I wonder, does anybody in the audience that's watching, would you guys like to do a tapping? And if so, what would you like to do a tapping on? Let us know, and maybe Jane will do one with us, and that'll be so fun. And so now I have a few more questions about the raw vegan diet while people are thinking about what they want to tap about. So what is it like in Wales? What is the fruit quality like? What is your diet usually like when you're eating a raw vegan diet?
Yeah. Well, we've been very lucky, because I say we, because my husband follows the same diet, that we've found a wholesale distributor, organic wholesale distributor. And they kept us going all through lockdown as well, because we actually ordered more than the cafes or restaurants or shops. In fact, they wanted to know where our shop was. I was eating this piles. So that gets delivered every Monday. We just had a delivery today. So they're sourcing the best quality. So all our fruit comes from them. So everything's organic. And then we use a firm here in Britain called Abel and Cole, and they deliver all the greens, and they're all organic. So apart from my carnivore son, who I just can't switch over, he's the only reason I go to the supermarket, really. Although I have now got him on smoothies. He has a couple of pints of fruit smoothie every day when I'm around. When I do it, he wouldn't do it, but he'll drink it. So that's great.
That's really good.
I mean, people say, oh, it's difficult to get unless you're in the tropics. It's difficult, and it's not. Things get delivered. You just have to go with the seasons. You get used to it. Your taste buds get used to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so somebody asked, whereabouts does Jane get that from? Well, I think you said, what's the name of it again?
It's in a place called Lampeter, which is in mid Wales, but they only distribute sort of, we're the furthest away. We're about 80 miles from them, but they wouldn't distribute worldwide or even to England,
Right. So if you're in Wales, yes.
If you're in Wales, you're in luck.
Yes. And so now, what does a typical breakfast look like for you? What do you love to have for breakfast?
I don't eat breakfast.
Okay.
So I try and finish eating by 7 in the evening. Sometimes it goes as late as 7:30. And then I typically don't eat again till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So known as intermittent fasting. I'm sure you know all about it. Just really good for your body to have that much rest from digesting. Lunch will then look like a big smoothie. So whatever, a bit like that. Very like that. So whatever fruit, and I'm freezing a bit, sorry, internet issues. I might put 4 oranges, a couple of bananas, a box of blueberries, and then I'll put in a few kale leaves or half a romaine lettuce, and drink that. And then dinner will be a very, very big salad. And that is a mistake I made when I first went raw vegan, is not eating enough, because you will crave if you don't eat enough. And it was only when I went to the UK Fruit Festival, which has been going, it's in its 10th anniversary this year. And it was there that I realised how much we're supposed to eat. And huge platefuls, huge. So my salad bowl is absolutely enormous. I mean, it's what you see on programs when they make Christmas cakes, Mrs. Christmas, and she's got the huge. So that's my salad bowl. with maybe a dressing of orange and tahini, one of my favorites, or avocado, lemon juice, that sort of thing. So I don't eat oils, I don't eat salt.
Yes. So I'm assuming you follow pretty much 80-10-10 then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And has it helped you with any health issues, specifically being 80-10-10?
Yes, I notice if I have too much fat, then I notice it. I get a bit sluggish. I think that's the only. And funnily enough, I remember doing an interview soon after I'd gone raw vegan on all the things that were issues and weren't now. And I was trying to think of them, but they range from bunion pain or bunion ache went. I have had one hip replacement. The other one has been stable for 13 years. It's arthritic, but it's fine. I got rid of the arthritic thumb with eating raw vegan. I had terrible digestive issues. They went. My hair was better. My skin was better. It just, we are what we eat, and we're designed to eat a certain way. And if you go off that, like I did this weekend, you suffer for it.
Yes. So, now, absolutely. Now, I want to ask you about how did you inspire your husband to be on this lifestyle as well? A lot of women watching are just like, tell us the secrets.
Yeah, well, the secret was that he was already on it. Oh. So, yeah, I met him. I've known him for 30 odd years, but actually we've only been together for about 5 because we were both with other people. And finally we were both free. But he's the one, he was on a coach with his then partner who sadly died. He was reading 80-10-10, and that's how I discovered that book, because he lent it to me on the journey. And as soon as I got home, I ordered my own copy. So he was pretty much doing it. So when we got together, we had 2 Vitamix, 2 dehydrators, 2 juices, everything came in pairs, yeah, it was funny. So yeah, just really fortunate. But I say fortunate, it was on my list. I wasn't going to compromise on that.
Well, there's the secret, ladies.
Yeah, don't compromise.
You got to find him pre-made, or you got to find him already raw vegan. Exactly. Okay, so now I would like to ask you, is it hard to be social as a raw vegan in Wales? What do you do for like when you want to be social, or you go to like a wedding or family gatherings?
Well, I phone ahead sometimes if we're going out to a pub or a restaurant, tell them what I want, and I take my own dressing. I have pockets full of things. And we went to a pub quite locally with my family, and I said I'd like a salad, just nothing on, just a plain salad, no dressing, and I'd like a big plate. So I got this big plate with this titchy bit of salad in the middle, and then I produced more lettuce, bag of tomatoes, an avocado, and my dressing, and I made this huge salad, and all my family were going, that looks amazing, much better than their burger and chips. So actually, I usually get very good food if I phone ahead. Say, you're going to make a lot of money with all my friends. This is what I want to eat.
That's actually genius. Hold on. So you order a salad and then you ask for a plate in addition.
A big plate.
And then you make your own. Oh, yeah. I've never done that before. Yeah, that's genius. You bring your own ingredients for the salad and you make your own. Oh, of course. Yeah. I've got to do that. I've never done that. I've been raw for 12 years now. I've never done that.
Oh, really?
That's genius. Yeah, because what I usually do is I usually eat before, and then I just pretend to enjoy this tiny little nonsense, or I bring fruit, and then it's a whole scene where, everybody's looking at you like you're a crazy monkey sitting there eating bananas, and you're an alien. And so this is actually genius. I love it. Yeah. Kimbo said this is genius indeed. Yeah, this is. And then of course, everyone's going to be like, whoa, this looks so much better. And can you talk a little bit, Jane, about people want to be healthy and they want to eat healthy, but it feels like people need permission And so, can you help people to understand how you gave yourself permission to take care of yourself and eat healthy and be different and choose a raw vegan lifestyle?
I think I just didn't want to feel the way I felt. And I think it was as simple as that, because I'd experienced this 2 weeks, 30 odd years before that, and remembered the feeling. I just thought, well, I can probably have that again. And that when we go to the fruit festival, it's 8 days. At the end of 8 days, when you've only been eating 80-10-10, you're already changed. It's very easy then to go back to how you were. And that's the difficult bit, isn't it? I'm lucky I live with somebody who does it as well. It's finding inspiration. It's finding reason. It's a bit like giving up smoking or giving up alcohol. You find a reason to want to do it. I mean, if you want 100% health, you have to be 100% healthy. If you say, well, actually, no, I don't mind, I'll just have 70% health, well, fine, keep eating, do raw till 4, which some people do, which is a complete waste of time, really, in my opinion. But, if you want 70 or 80% health, do that. But who wants, if you asked a group of people who wants 80% health, nobody will put their hand up. If you said you want 100%, they'd all put their hands up. Well, the only way you're going to get that is by eating the diet that we're designed to eat, which every other species does. It's only us that doesn't do that.
Yes, indeed. And now, do you take any supplements, Jane, by any chance? Do you worry about B12 or D3, vitamin D?
I take B12 when I remember, which might be once a fortnight. In fact, you've just reminded me, so I haven't had one for a few days. D3, yes, I try and remember to take that every day, especially in our country. We don't see the sun enough, which is why when do you get flus and bad colds in the winter? Oh, I wonder why that is. Yeah, you're not getting your sun. So, I take D3 and B12. I've just started taking lion's mane, which is a mushroom, because it's supposed to help with memory.
Yes. Okay, lion's mane. Yes, I've heard really good things about it.
But I'm not really. Yeah, you don't see cattle and other species having supplements, do you? So as long as we're eating the right stuff, we don't. In my opinion, we don't need them. But I think B12 is a problem. I know Doug Graham, who wrote 80-10-10, said we can make it in our gut or our small intestine, but I'm not sure it's bioavailable. So, and I think you've got to have a really good gut biome to risk that. So it's only a little. I don't mind taking a B12. I mean, so what,
Yes. Now, Sherry, she said that she also makes her own salads at restaurants. But one time she got in trouble. The manager said it was a food hazard or some violation, something like this.
Oh.
Have you ever experienced that, Jane?
No. But I mean, I do always try and phone ahead, or if it's a restaurant that knows me, I go and say, oh, can I have one of your lovely big salads? And they go out of their way to make it as nice as they can, That's in my experience. I've never been told that I'm a hazard.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. And like phoning ahead or finding a place that makes a really big salad and then you can just bring your own dressing. That's what I found, a place here in Miami that has big salads. And then, I just bring my own dressing and it's no big deal at all. And, it's just people are very concerned about what they're doing in their life. And so it's not really a big deal if you have your dressing and even if you bring fruit, people, it's a weird thing at first, but then people get used to it. And then we talk about other things, And so, that's interesting that manager said it was a health violation, but Sherry was the only one eating that. So people are making up their own rules out there. So
I went to, do you have Wagamama over in where you are?
What is that called?
Wagamama. It's a restaurant, chain of restaurants. And I went in one day with some friends and I just had some persimmons and I just sat and I said, oh, have you got a plate? And in the end, they were all coming over, these waiters, and said, what are you eating? What is that? You know, and trying it. I said, try it. It's really nice. And so it makes people curious as well.
That's bold. Wait, persimmons at a restaurant, because that's, you
Yeah.
know, that's not a very contained fruit. You know, that's
No,
a juicy, sweet, delicious time there.
yeah.
That's bold. I love it. I love it. Okay, now let's do some EFT if you're down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yay. Okay, so now I would love so much to do some EFT on cravings, because people every single day I get this question, and I'm sure you get this a lot. How can I resist something that I love, that I'm like addicted to, you know?
Yeah.
And so maybe we can do a EFT on resisting cravings and just fighting the urge to give in to that 5-second decision to eat something that will taste really good, but will not make us feel good. And I think that is just like so important to master, to understand that, yes, it will taste good. Even right now, us being, you know, raw vegans, it will still taste good, but we won't feel good. And that's why we don't eat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you so much. This is so exciting. So everybody, if you haven't done EFT, we're going to be tapping on our face. Okay.
Yeah.
And just repeating what Jane says. And
Yeah.
I will mute myself so that I don't, so we don't go back and forth in the camera.
Well, you can do. I mean, you can answer me if you want, and
Okay.
then I'll know how long I'm sorry, my internet is not. I don't know if it's freezing your end, but we'll hope that it's going to be all right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll hope it's not freezing on my end. It's good.
Oh, good, excellent. Okay, so we're going to start on the karate chop point. We're just going to tap there, and if you repeat what I say, even though I get these really strong cravings
I get these really strong cravings
for cooked food. And it makes me feel bad having these cravings.
And it makes me feel bad having these cravings.
I choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have these really big cravings. And it's so hard to resist. I accept all these feelings. Even though these cravings drive me mad. I accept that. And then we're going to go to the eyebrow point, which is, I'll take my glasses off. It's just the end of the eyebrows. And you can use 2 hands, you can use 1 hand. We're not symmetrical. I do use 2 myself, but it's up to you. These cravings. And then go to the side of the eyes and tap there. It tastes so good. Under the eyes. And it makes me feel so bad. Under the nose. It's not what I want to eat. On the chin. But I can't resist. It tastes too good. And then, the collarbone points.
It tastes too good.
Just wait, see Jeanette doing it. And then under the arm, where the bra point is for ladies, it tastes so good. Top of the head. But I feel so bad when I've eaten it. Takes me 2 minutes to eat it. Oh, the pleasure it gives me, side of the eyes. Under the eyes. But the hours that I spend. Under the nose, beating myself up. On the chin, regretting it. If only I hadn't done it.
If only I hadn't done it.
I shouldn't have done that.
I shouldn't have done that.
I choose to believe that it's possible.
I choose to believe that it's possible.
Eyebrow points. Not to give in to these cravings.
Not to give in to these cravings.
Side of the eye. To realize that I'm in what we call a pleasure trap.
To realize that I'm in what we call the pleasure trap.
Under the eyes. Where I get this instant hit.
Where I get this instant hit.
Because it tastes so good.
Because it tastes so good.
And then afterwards, I get the, what do I get? The dip.
And then afterwards, I get the dip.
Oh, I wish I hadn't done it.
Oh, I wish you hadn't done it.
How many hours do I spend wishing I hadn't done it?
How many hours do I spend wishing I hadn't done it?
What if I could get up in the morning?
What if I could get up in the morning
and decide that that day I'm only going to eat raw food?
And decide that that day I'm only going to eat raw food.
I'm not going to worry about what I did the day before.
I'm not going to worry about what I did the day before.
And I'm not going to worry about tomorrow.
And I'm not going to worry about tomorrow.
Today, I'm only going to eat raw food.
Today, I'm going to eat raw food.
I'm going to give my body 100% health.
I'm going to give my body 100% health.
I choose to believe that that would be a possibility.
I choose to believe that that would be a possibility.
Just living in each moment.
Just living in each moment.
Just being healthful in each moment.
Just being healthful in each moment.
Living with no judgment.
Living with no judgment.
No criticism.
No criticism.
Just enjoying a healthful day.
Just enjoying a healthful day.
One day at a time.
One day at a time.
One mouthful at a time.
One mouthful at a time.
How well could I feel?
How well could I feel?
I'm excited and curious about that possibility.
I'm excited and curious about that possibility.
And then just stop tapping and take a deep breath. And just have a look inside and see what resistances are coming up. And see if there's any positives that are coming up as well. And I mean, it's always a good idea to see a practitioner, but if you've got negatives coming up, you can tap in, even though I'm feeling whatever it is about doing this. I completely accept myself, that. How did people feel about that? Has anybody?
That was such a treat. Thank you so much, Jane. Wow, I feel so much calmer now. And, I just love how you did it because it's so true. One day at a time, one meal at a time, one decision at a time. That's really all we can control and all we need to control. And let us know in the audience if you guys did it, and how you feel now, because I feel so much better, so much calmer. And, I feel a difference. I really do. I always feel a big difference in my body, in my stress level, in my breathing. And I just feel so much better when I tap. And so I know it works. And now I want to ask you about food addiction. Okay. And this will be the last thing we talk about, because I'm very passionate about helping women to heal and release their food addiction. It's something I suffered with for many, many years until I went raw. And I now run food addiction freedom courses for women. And
Mm.
so I'm curious, have you ever dealt with a food addiction? And do you have any, first, let's start there. Do you have any experience personally dealing with a food addiction?
No, I wouldn't say I was never addicted to one. I mean, the lovely thing about this diet is I've always been a bit of a pig. So I like to eat a lot of foods. You know, I can't be doing with these silly little plates of food. And if you eat a lot of the normal diet, you get fat. But this, oh my goodness, you can have platefuls and bowlfuls and still, you know, you don't get, because actually the thing with fruit is you can actually physically only eat a certain amount. The body will say, okay, because of all the fiber, it will stop you overeating. But I mean, I can eat 6 mangoes, but I can't eat any more than that. And it sounds like a lot, and it sounds like a lot of calories, and it is, but because it goes through your system so quickly, because there's nothing nasty in it, it doesn't reappear as fat. And you've got more energy to do things. You know, maybe you walk a bit further because you're raw, or you lift heavier weights in the gym, or whatever it is. But no, I mean, I've never had food addictions myself, except I was addicted to a lot of food, and I still am, and now I can.
Yes, I've also always been a foodie myself. So like if somebody's out there and they love to eat, well, the raw vegan diet is literally the best thing on earth for you, because I know people that don't really care about eating and like, okay,
Yeah.
well, that's them. That's not
Yeah.
me. I love, just like you, I love to eat, you know, and I love to eat abundantly. And the raw food diet is truly the only diet that I've ever discovered that you can do that. And so were you on other diets before the raw food diet?
No, I was never on diet. I suppose because I was vegetarian. Um, and I mean, I say I'm a pig. People used to say to me, "Oh, you're so lucky. You know, you stay so slim." Well, it's not luck, is it? I didn't eat the cakes. I didn't eat the biscuits. So I've always been careful, but I've also always felt like I'm missing out on something, whereas I don't have to miss out anymore. I can pig out.
Yeah. Okay. That will be the last question now, because Sherry just reminded me. I just did a podcast on the sacrifice of not eating cooked food versus the sacrifice of sacrificing your health. Because, you
Yeah.
know, everybody feels like, oh, they're depriving themselves. They can't eat these treats, or, you know, the biscuits or whatever, the chocolate cake, and they're sacrificing. Can you talk about the sacrifice that you're doing to your health when you eat those foods? Like, well, you've already touched on it, but basically, can you try to tell people how good they can feel? Because it's hard to describe it, but
Yeah.
how good do you feel now when you eat raw?
Um, and I can only compare myself to others of my age who constantly talk about how old they are, um, and you know the ailments that they have, the pills that they take, the amount of times they go to the doctor, you know, the operations they're waiting for. How does it make you feel? You wake up in the morning refreshed, ready for a good day. You have the energy to walk as far as you want. You know, I walk a dog every morning, my dog. You have the energy to go to the gym, which I do 4 times a week, and lift weights and go to the sauna. Nothing is an issue. You know, you don't get to the 4 o'clock slump in the afternoon where people want to go to sleep. You know, well, I'm 64, that, you know, I need to sleep in the afternoon. Really? So
I have some friends, 38 years old, that need to sleep in the afternoon. Okay. Just so you know.
yeah, you know, you add up all those hours, that's how many hours you're losing off your life, wasting it, sleeping in the afternoon. I mean, I was going to then say, you know, there's nothing wrong with a 10-minute power nap, but I mean, I never need it. I never need to sleep anytime during the day until it's my bedtime. I think you get to sleep better because your body isn't wasting all this time digesting stuff that it doesn't want. So, digesting food takes up more energy than anything else that we do. So if it's not having to digest foods, it can, if there are any bits that need healing, or we've got pollutants inside us, we've breathed in bad air, or we've drunk some water that wasn't optimal, the body has the chance to do that. And that's why I like intermittent fasting. I like to fast for 16, 17, sometimes 20 hours a day. It makes me feel good, and definitely the mornings are very productive because my body's doing nothing except providing me with energy for anything I need. So you're going to feel good if you do this diet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so guys, if you want to connect more with Jane, you can go to her website, overcomingyouranxiety.com, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And that's a great domain. That's amazing that you got that.
Yeah.
And yes, you can connect with her and do a private, do you offer private coaching, private sessions?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, amazing. Amazing. And guys, I just want to say thank you very much. Cat Kit has the last comment, and she says, I can't wait to get there. I feel better and can do more, but still got a ways to go. I keep messing up every week, so I haven't felt the full effects, but I'm not quitting. Do you have any advice for her, Jane, on, just somebody that might be like trying their best, they're trying, but they keep falling off? Do you have any advice?
Well, I just allow yourself a couple of minutes before you eat whatever it is you're going to eat to think, how is it going to make me feel afterwards? I know how it's going to make me feel doing it because it tastes so good, but how am I going to feel once I've eaten it? And how long am I going to feel like that for? And is that how I want to feel? And actually, it only takes a couple of weeks for the taste buds to change. And it's not about the taste buds after 2 weeks. It's about not wanting to miss out But just think about how long you're going to be feeling bad for if you give in.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, for sure. Because we're not really conscious. We're not living consciously when we're giving into cravings for things we don't want to eat anymore. You don't want to eat it. You got to get more conscious. So that's really good. Take a deep breath. Get into the habit of becoming very aware of what you're doing. And I think awareness is the first step in the healing process. So yeah. Thank you so much, Jane. That was so wonderful to do tapping with us. And I love your energy and your spirit. And you have such a young, vibrant spirit about you. And I know it's definitely a big part is the food and all the other things you do. You're just a very big inspiration to us all. And thank you very much, Jane. And thank you, everybody, for watching. If you like this kind of content, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you very much, Jane.
Thank you for having me.